And thank you for the invitation to share some thoughts on the blue shift. So what Tom said, I've spent the past years focusing on the sustainable blue economy and really focus on how can we invest in and support ambitious founders in building and scaling their companies. My background quickly before that has been from larger corporations like McKinsey, Wilhelmsen, Orkla, but I made this shift, and I think it's really energizing and cool to work with ambitious founders. So started Catapult Ocean, saw thousands of early stage ocean tech companies that needed support. A lot of great companies founded by kind of tech people, researchers, biologists, and what was across all of them was a lot of them needed support on how to build a company, how to scale, and of course, like all startups, they need capital as well. And that has been a great journey. And then the natural next step for me was then to establish Fynd, to continue to drive this blue shift. Just let's kind of take a perspective and zoom out a bit. So the ocean is vital for all life. Covers most of our planet. Every second breath we take, the oxygen comes from the ocean. It absorbs at least a quarter of the CO2 we emit. It contains 99% of our biosphere and also 80% of all life. At the same time, there are a lot of challenges that needs to be addressed, but I will get back to that. The ocean economy is actually expected to outperform the land-based economy. And if some estimates says that it's the 7th largest economy in the world if you try to estimate the value of global ocean assets. And it's expected to expand at least twice the rate of the mainstream economy by 2030. And when we know this, and at the same time we know that 2/3 of the ocean's direct economic output and value relies on its good health, it is great business to solve some of these challenges the ocean is facing. There is pollution, there is overfishing, there is the effect of climate change on the ocean. A lot of challenges, but let's focus on the opportunities here, because we have new technologies, we have great entrepreneurs that now dedicate their time to solve these challenges. We know that the timing for this focus is right. Consumers and top talent demand sustainability. Just as one example, consumer products that are marketed as sustainable grew 5.6 times faster than those that were not. We know that top talent is increasingly looking for purpose when they select which jobs they want to take. And a new generation of entrepreneurs is looking to the ocean and opportunities there. There are numerous incubators, accelerators, hubs, clusters, popping up all over the world to focus on this, and also companies. In Catapult Ocean, we made a mapping, probably looked at thousands of early stage companies in this space, and we see them popping up all over the world, not only in the kind of natural hubs like Norway and Canada, but really all over the world, and that's encouraging to see. We also see technology transfer from other sectors into the blue. So a healthy ocean will help us, or can help us, and will help us address the most pressing challenges we are facing. We need to produce more protein for 10 billion planets. We can get that from the ocean if we change the way we do today. We need to find solutions for climate change. The ocean can contribute to that. And we also need to create more decent jobs and develop a more equitable social model. And also the ocean economy can contribute to that. So this is really, if we do it right, this is a kinder egg. And I think the blue economy is a great example of how you can combine positive impact with good financial returns. So on that basis, we founded Fynd 1.5 years ago. We are a growth venture fund focused on sustainable blue economy. And our ambition is to play a really important role in driving the blue shift. Our vision is a healthy and abundant ocean that still plays a vital role in providing sustainable food, products, and experiences. And our focus is Europe and some North America. And we want to take an active role, provide these companies with capital, but as important, hands-on support to help them scale. And I want to highlight some of the areas that we look at that we find really interesting at the moment. We have two main topics. The first one is smart, sustainable, data-driven aquaculture. And we in Fynd, we look at the suppliers. We do not want to take biological risk directly, but we know that we have huge amounts of data that can be gathered in the ocean. Sensors being developed and the use of big data analytics to make sense of that and support decision making. That's from kind of understanding fish health issues, predicting algae blooms, just make sure that aquaculture is done in a more sustainable and more efficient manner. So there are a lot of opportunities there and lots of companies positioning themselves there. There's also a huge opportunity here to develop sustainable feed for that sector. Today, fish meal is not sustainable. Then we harvest wild caught fish and then make fish meal out of it and then feed it to fish in pens. That's a huge sustainability issue. The same with soy. So developing new feed ingredients is a very interesting topic as well. And we know that aquaculture represents 18% of the world protein market today, and it's forecasted to represent more than 50% by 2050. So we need to find solutions to do it in a sustainable way. The second topic is what maybe excites me the most, and that's what we call the future of ocean resources and food. Here we see plant-based seafood, tuna replica made out of algae. We see cell-based seafood and so on. We also see new applications for residual materials from the seafood sector. And all of these topics, they get a lot of attention now and growing interest from investors. A lot of more generalist funds and family office and others that now add this blue element to their investment thesis, which is great to see. And we also even see some ocean-based IPOs and larger investment rounds. So this is quite nascent part of this kind of startup ecosystem, but a very interesting one. So let me just mention a couple of examples to make things more tangible. One topic is electrification. And I think, both electrification of aquaculture farms, the operations, one part of it is transportation. And the boat you see here is driven now by an EVOY engine, which is an electric engine for smaller boats. This is a company we invested in through Catapult Ocean. And this is one example of how you can actually electrify aquaculture operations by electrifying those type of boats and more at the farms. I mentioned the opportunity here to use data and analytics for more sustainable aquaculture. Aquaculture is like farming in the ocean, and there's a huge potential to do this more efficiently. Everything from disease control and prevention to fish welfare, as I mentioned, and to really understand what's happening in these pens and use that data to make smarter, more sustainable decisions. Lab-grown seafood sounds a bit sci-fi, maybe, but probably most of you have followed what's happening on the red meat sector, where companies like Memphis Meat are developing lab-grown burgers and meat. The same development is now happening in the seafood sector. And one company based in Singapore is developing cell-based crab meat for dumplings, for example. Here you can produce it close to the market, lower CO2 footprint, and you have full control over all kind of the inputs in that process. And then algae, the potential of both macro and microalgae is huge when it comes to food, feed, and materials. We see companies that use both micro and macroalgae to develop biodegradable plastic alternatives, for example. Our team in Fynd, we are a team of 4 partners. It's me, it's my colleague and co-founder Sverre, with strong competence from value creation. He was a partner at the Boston Consulting Group, has worked a lot with small and larger companies on value creation work. Caroline has a lot of experience from transactions in the leading investment bank in the Nordics. And Atle Eide, our industry partner, he has experience as CEO of some of the leading companies in the seafood sector, whether it's Skretting and Feed or Marine Harvest that became Movi. So our team is quite complementary, and we focus on building a team that can work with value creation, get the best deals, and also has a network that can support these companies. And to our network, we think, you know, important part of what we do is also building an ecosystem and work with potential co-investors and really support each other here, because there's so much that needs to be done and we cannot do anything by ourselves. So working with academia, other funds, accelerators, clusters all over the world is critical to share competence and collaborate. And we also have a group of advisors and someone connected to us that kind of further complement our network and competence. And what we do, as I've said a couple of times, that we want to take a hands-on role in the companies we invest in. I've seen that kind of firsthand, the need for that through the companies I invested in Catapult Ocean. That is very welcome, and also for us being based in Norway with the strong network we have with potential customers and research institutions and so on, can be very valuable for the companies we invest in. So it's important for us, of course, to make sure that we really have you know, a role to play as an investor and someone that can actually really support the companies in building value. So we take an active role as an owner, work with the company through the board, but also outside of that, and we leverage our global ecosystem. So that's in short the opportunities we in Fynd see in this blue shift, and there are a lot of other opportunities as well, but these are the ones that we have focused on. And I again would like to say thank you so much for putting this on the agenda and organizing this conference. Thank you.
Come on. So if I can ask you, have you ever been looking into the Baltic states?
Yes, we have had, you know, we actually had some companies that have approached us or that we have in our pipeline. Yes, without mentioning kind of names, we have, and we see, actually, we actively look at what's happening there also, because as you probably covered today, and we'll cover more tomorrow, it's interesting developments there also.
Yes, a lot is happening, and they're very. There's a startup mentality here as well. So I'm just thinking how we can connect you and what you're doing with the people over here, but we can get back to that. So how many companies have you invested in now in Fynd?
Yeah, in Fynd we are just, you know, we're doing the first one. We just just getting started. So we're probably investing in the first company now before Christmas. So we're just from the what do you call it? Start just about to jump into the ocean.
Yeah. And do you want to say something about what is the difference between Catapult Ocean and what you are trying to achieve with Fynd?
Yeah, we invest in much larger tickets. We invest later stage. We invest in what we typically Series A rounds. We will invest from 2 to 5 million euros per company, whereas in Catapult Ocean we invested from 150 to 3-4 $400,000. So we are kind of 2 steps or so after Catapult Ocean. So it's kind of good synergies there also.
So now you can
and then we also invest in fewer companies. We can take lead in these investments.
Yeah. Just one comment to your team. It's a very amazing team you have. And I told earlier today the audience that I did my thesis in 1992 in Riga. And I wrote for Kverneland. And Atle Eide also was the director of Kverneland at some point, wasn't he? So you go from seafood, aquaculture, I mean from land-based food to sea-based food. Now, do you have any advice to any startup watching online or any here regarding how to move forward to make sure that they can scale their companies when they seem to be successful?
I mean, it's often it has to do with capital and getting kind of competent investors on board that can support you and be kind of the company needs to do a proper due diligence on you, but you also should do a proper due diligence on what type of investors you would like to get on board. Someone who actually wants to get their hands a bit dirty and support you and have the right network to support you in scaling.
Very good.